or if it is your first time here, why is that? yx140 crank failure. I pulled it apart. I was waiting on some tools to arrive. We're waiting on this special tool to turn up. So that's the tool for the outer flywheel and crank. So that obviously you can just blast them off an air gun, that's no problem. Main goal for today is to get this all built back up. I'll get it in the cradle. If I can get that done in the next couple of hours, I'll be really happy with that. And then we'll put it in our cradle, fire it up for the first time, let it run, and then once it's all done, I can just get rid of it. I can get on with the other projects because I've got so many others I need to bash out. So, right, let's throw this back together.
Right guys, I don't know if I got the shot or not, but as I put the two cases together I looked up and the camera weren't recording, so we might have got it on film if not. But the two cases together, cranks in, kickstart splines all in correctly as it should be with the spring located, so that just wasn't possible without that tool because I couldn't lay this in while the basket was there, it was just impossible. So I'm going to lay all the bolts in the case. What am I going to do next? Build up all this side case so this is done. This can get buttoned on because there's no need to be in here once the two cases together. There's no need to be back in this side. So I might as well finish up, build up this whole side, put the outer case on, and then it's buttoned up. Then it's going to be timing chain, head, and all the rest of the gubbins. So right, let's plough through it, get all the rest of this done, and then see if we can get it fired up in my engine cradle. And see if we can get it up and fired up today, so at least I can give it back to Mick and it's done and dusted then. This is the engine cradle. Basically, I know it looks a bit crude, but it's a pair of bars into some box sections. So basically, as the engine sits in here, I can kick it in situ. Not only that, you can actually stand on one part of it and then kick on the other side. So it's only a crude bay. I used to have this as my old engine building stand before I built the other bench. So right, let's plough the rest of it back together. Right guys, you pick us up about at least 3 or 4 days later. I stopped filming because while I was putting this together, I got the crank in, I got all the side cases in, everything else, and I started running it through the gears, and do you know what, it just didn't feel right. I'll try and show you what it is. It's basically, I run it through the gears and 9 times out of 10 it works, and on that 10th time it locks in either 4th gear or won't go into neutral. So I've taken it apart, laid it on the bench, checked all the shim washers, checked any damage on any of the selector forks. I changed the selector tumbler and it made absolutely no difference. So every time there's either something damaged or something slightly bent in it that I just can't see by eye. Obviously this was the engine that had the sheared crank. I had no experience with this engine before. It's not one we've done. The guy gave it with the bike that we bought. So I just needed a couple of days to think. I stripped it all back out, put it in, and now I've got no crank in it, and it's just a bare gearbox. And I've been rotating the box, running it through the gears, and I just can't figure it out. So I said to Mick, look, it's one that's got to go on the back burner until I've got enough time to go back through it or get. I mean, it's only 35 quid for a new gear selector, a gear selector, a whole gearbox. Basically, I can buy the 2 lathe shafts with all the cogs on and the selector forks for about 35 quid. But we want to go racing now, so I had the 140 engine laying up on the bench. I said to Mick, I said, look, do you want to just buy me out of this engine? It owes me 150 quid. I'll double check that it's all okay. So I put this in our test frame, fired it all up, got it all up to temperature, run through the gears, and it's perfect. So I said to Mick, I said, you buy me out of that one, and then basically I'll end up with what's left out of this, and then eventually build it into something else. I think most likely this is going to become the turbo Project Monkey bike engine I'm going to build and do something with. But I just thought I'd give you an update on what exactly was happening, because I filmed after this video and then I was like, well, I don't even know how to rectify it. So I'll show you what it's doing, and if anybody in the comment wants to comment or, you know, has any advice on what actually might be wrong with it, I'd gladly appreciate it, because it's either that or failing that I'm just going to put a whole new gear set and selector in it. I'll show you what it does, and then if you write down in the comments, you know, if someone knows what's going on with it, because I can't figure it out right now. So yeah, I'd like your advice. If any guys know that what's going on with this transmission, I'll be glad to take the advice. Let me just show you what it's doing then. Right, okay, so that's what the clutch basket and thingy, and that would be the other output shaft. So that's the output shaft for the sprocket on this side. So right now at the minute, neutral. We'll go down 1 gear. So first gear, second gear, third gear, and 4th gear. No problems whatsoever. With that running, that should be fine. So I'll go down the gear. So third, second, first. A little bit hard, but and that's going to neutral. That's exactly what it should do. That's 100% right. But like I said, for this to go off to somebody, a mate of mine that I'm building it for, would I 100% be happy with it? If it was mine, I'd probably just build it up as is and just see how it went. But I don't want to be giving it him, putting it in his bike. You got up to the first test day and then play up. So I was like, it's not 100%. I'm not 100% happy. Is it good enough just to send it? If I built this up and I put it on the dyno and it didn't perform, I wouldn't be too bothered about it. But giving it to a mate, I'm not 100% happy with it. So like I said, I just showed you through the gear set. Let's see if we can get it to do what it's meant to be doing. So it goes up. First, second, and look, just, yeah, there you go. It's complete. It's like it's halfway in between gears. You see? Right, it's gone halfway in between the cogs. There it goes. It's dropped in now, and now it's sort of like semi-lock-in and not. Now it's in gear. It's gone up now. Right, is that in fourth? I think that's in fourth. Then down third. Look, there it is. So look, it's like halfway locking between gears, and I just can't figure it out. It's like it's half shift, and it's just locking up the synchros and the gears. And I wouldn't want to give that to somebody that obviously a mate of mine, and go race it and it play up. I mean, it might be alright, but am I 100% happy? No. So that's the issue I got with it. I'm just going to put this on the bench and into the engine rack, and when I get a chance I'll look at it. But if someone in the comments wants to has any ideas what that actually could be, I'd be interested in hearing what you've got to say. So it's going to be one of them videos where, you know, this is real life. Sometimes stuff don't plan out right, you know, it's just how it is. So yeah, if you liked some of this crap content I made and you go through the channel and watch some other videos we've got, and if it's something you're interested in, I'd like it if you would consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, because it helps us out a lot. And ciao for now.
Oh shit. Okay.